Hi, it's me again, Joseph Pillsbury. I'm the author of Actual Factual Magic, The Simplified Guide to Walt Disney World. Our new edition has just come out, so we're super excited about that. Doubled the size. So much good information. Hope you check that out. But like everyone else who loves Disney, we've been watching the first days of the Disney Genie rollout very closely. And we've noticed some trends, hacks, and anomalies about the system from which you, our beloved actual factual readers, can benefit. Now, our early impression of Disney Genie Plus and the Lightning Lane is, yes, it's definitely a ploy by Disney to suck a few more dollars out of our pockets while you're in the parks. But we also noticed it doesn't have to be that. And we're all for getting the most out of a Disney vacation without paying more to do so. Now keep in mind there are some indications that Disney Genie rolled out prematurely. Some say they have noticed unfinished coding language appearing on public-facing screens, and that the system did glitch out on several occasions during the premiere week. Well, that's to be expected from the rollout of just about any complicated technology. And let's be honest, Disney Genie is more than a little complicated, both in its operation and its behind-the-scenes functions. And that means some of our hacks here might not be permanent, so please take advantage of them while you still can. But we think some of these early reported guest frustrations might be coming from overthinking Genie, or by simply buckling under to peer pressure to just shut up and give Disney a little more money without actually knowing the bigger picture. We're not going to suggest any of that here. Instead, we're going to tell you how Genie was designed to be used where it actually seems to be working, and the underreported rules of engaging with the paid services. First off, the free part of Disney Genie seems to be working as promised. If you honestly fill out the beginning of the day questionnaire and then use its ever-calibrating suggestions as they are presented to you, you will have a better day in the parks. From what we could tell, barring some inaccuracies in predicted line levels and how it suggested dining reservations, the free Disney Genie service did, most of the time, perform as promised. It did consider what you told it to be important to you. It does consider if you are park hopping and how much time it takes to get to the other parks. And it did fairly accurately direct guests to shorter lines and instruct them to consider returning to some rides later in the day when the lines were predicted to be shorter. If you followed the tip page on the app, it would give you timely suggestions on what to do now and what to do next. And though some reported it stumbled a bit here and there, it did give most people timely recommendations. Thus, if you took Genie's advice, it did provide you with a path, attraction to attraction, with occasional suggestions for lunch and dinner throughout your day. And if you did not like one of those suggestions, it would remove that from your planner and fill it in with something you might enjoy more. In short, the free Genie service did seem to work. Okay, now let's talk about the paid services. Let's talk about the $15 paid upgrade to get Disney Genie Plus. Genie Plus allows guests access to most of the Lightning lanes in any given park. Those are the shorter lines previously known as Fast Pass lines, and it's a great deal, right? For a mere $15, you gain shorter lines all day long. Unless you read all the fine print, you might be disappointed to find out after you gave over your $15 per person in your travel party per day that Genie Plus comes with a fairly long list of caveats. First and foremost, you may only choose one Lightning Lane attraction at a time. Once you have checked in at that attraction, you can make another choice, one by one, all day long. Well, it's not quite that simple. If you are able to use your choices nearly right away, you can make another choice immediately. After redeeming that choice, a new choice will be offered right away. But if you decline suggestions that are offered for the very next time slot, the system will block you from making another choice for 120 minutes or until you use the choice you have. I know that's confusing, so let's say that again. The system will let you make a choice immediately after your previous choice is redeemed. Or, if that choice is more than 120 minutes away, you will not be able to make another choice for 2 hours. I know. It sounds like a pretty terrible thing, but we learned a hack that I'll tell you about in a moment. Not only that, but the system will not let you choose to repeat an attraction. So if you're like me and love Big Thunder Mountain, your dream of lightning laning it repeatedly again and again are hereby crushed. But in the greater scheme of things, this does keep things more fair for everyone. If you want to ride Big Thunder Mountain again and again, you can queue up in the standby line as much as you'd like. Let's say you really want to secure one of the classic attractions, so you go into Disney Genie Plus, and the only time Haunted Mansion is offered to you is at 3 p.m. But you just got to the park. It's only 9 a.m. If you choose Haunted Mansion as your next lightning lane, that's it. You cannot make another choice until after you have entered the Haunted Mansion queue at 3 p.m. Well, that's half your day locked out of Genie Plus, and you have not even ridden one ride yet. Can you see why people were getting angry during the first days of this new system? But hang in there. We know something most people do not know. What we have learned is Genie Plus is also best used almost as if it were the free Genie offering. If you use Genie Plus step-by-step suggestions, it will lead you lightning lane to lightning lane through the park in the most efficient manner. It seems that the people who are getting frustrated were more seasoned Disney visitors and locals who know exactly what they like and just want to go right to the best stuff right away. Well, the above-mentioned limitations are meant to keep things fair for everyone. So if you choose not to use Genie or Genie Plus as it was designed, yes, you might get frustrated with it. Then there is the pay per premium attraction lightning lane options offered at various prices per day with a limit of 2 choices per guest per day. No exceptions, no cancellations, no refunds. Unless, of course, it's Disney's fault that you can't meet the arrival time. In those cases, talk to customer service. There are 2 premium attractions in each park at this time. These attractions cannot be accessed with the $15 Genie Plus. For these attractions, you may either wait in a long but free standby line, or in some cases a boarding group, or you can pay an extra fee in the Disney Genie app to access these special premium ride lightning lanes. Now, you don't have to have Genie Plus to pay these pay-per premium rides. You can do that with just the basic Genie too. This is where Disney really showed their hand to be getting unnecessarily greedy, in my opinion. Even when some of the premium rides had short waits, Disney was still selling their premium access in the app. For example, the queue for Everest can ebb and flow throughout the day. A lot of us Disney pros, if you will, know that sometimes the line for Everest can be really long and sometimes it can be a walk-on. It varies greatly throughout the day. And yet people might not know that. So if you're new to Disney or not a regular visitor, you might not know this. And yet people who might not know to check the line waits beforehand might shell out money for the premium access when the standby line was virtually just as short. And that's why I'm going to let actual factual magic viewers and readers understand how to hack all these little disappointing things we just mentioned. Let's approach a Disney park day in the most economical way. On days when the crowds are light or even moderate, do not pre-purchase Genie Plus. In fact, we think maybe never pre-purchase Disney Plus. You can purchase it at any time during your day, and in the morning, if you can get to the parks as they open, the only folks who have a slight advantage are Disney Resort hotel guests who get a 30-minute head start on entrance and get a short head start on Genie Plus choices. But if you are a Disney Resort hotel guest or not, at opening you can usually ride 1 or 2 major attractions with a relatively short wait without paying extra for anything. Try to start your day as soon as you can at the premium attractions. Rise of the Resistance at Hollywood Studios, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train at Magic Kingdom, Flight of Passage at Animal Kingdom, Frozen Ever After at Epcot. but maybe first join the free boarding group for Ratatouille. By joining a boarding group, you are basically reserving a time to enter that ride anyway for free. If you can knock off any of these attractions in the standby queue for free at the beginning of your day, as lines are just beginning to mount up, you have saved yourself the premium cost per ride. For a family of 4, that's potentially $60. Prioritize the premium rides for the beginning of the day. That's simple, right? As we pointed out at the beginning of this, the free Disney Genie actually does a good job directing you step by step through a good day at Disney. But if you start to see standby lines start to creep up beyond 60, maybe 90-minute range for your favorite attractions, not counting the premium attractions, then maybe consider purchasing the Disney Plus. This will then grant you access to the lightning lanes for most of the attractions in the park. But the point being, don't pay for it until you are sure you're going to benefit from it. And we would say also, meter the lines yourself. We've noticed some pretty exaggerated line waits from Disney's system, adding 15 minutes to a half hour to the advertised line waits when, let's say, the line for Splash Mountain is advertised at 90 minutes and when you actually walk through the line at a 60-minute wait. Well, that's a big difference, and that might encourage people without trying to purchase the Disney Plus when maybe they really still don't need to. Those of us in the know a 60-minute line on a busy day is not that bad, and typically Disney will push lines through faster. Oh, remember that limitation in Disney Plus that only allows you one lightning lane choice at a time? Well, that's not quite true either. Let's say you have Disney Genie Plus. It's just past park opening, and you did choose Haunted Mansion for 3 p.m. that afternoon. You might not be out of luck after all. It's being reported that Genie Plus is not locking you out of another choice. What it's actually doing is timing your choices. As I reported before, it is freezing you out of making another lightning lane choice for 2 hours. But guess what? After that 2 hours is done, you can make another choice, and you can choose a time earlier than your 3 p.m. Haunted Mansion. So if you made your 3 p.m. Haunted Mansion choice at 9 a.m., at 11 a.m. you could make another choice for 11:30 Lightning Lane access for Splash Mountain, if offered. And then at 1:30, 120 minutes later, technically you could make another choice at 2 p.m. for Big Thunder Mountain, if offered. You just need to space out your choices by 2 hours. So it will let you stack 2 and some reported 3 lightning lane choices as long as you space your choices out by 120 minutes. We also hear it is letting both Genie Plus and paid lightning lane choices share the same window of time. So if you have a 2 p.m. paid Rise of the Resistance, you can choose to have a 1:45 to 2:45 Smuggler's Run also in your system. The choices just may not have the exact same window of time, but they can overlap. Because the Genie algorithm is in constant flux, guests have noticed that if you were not offered the attraction you wanted, you could keep checking back and replace a less popular ride with a more popular ride when it does pop up in your suggestions. Another friendly tip, do not buy Genie Plus in advance of your trip. If you purchase Genie Plus in advance, the system requires you to add it to all the tickets for the length of your entire stay, and you might not need it for your whole trip. Since you can purchase it on your park day, there's no real benefit to pre-purchasing Genie Plus as part of your ticket package in advance. At the time of this post, I strongly feel the only attraction worth even considering paying the per ride premium fee is Hollywood Studios' Rise of the Resistance. That means starting your day early at Hollywood Studios and queuing up immediately for the standby line at Rise will give you the information you need to decide if you need to spend that extra money. If the queue for Rise is already approaching 90 minutes when you enter it, yeah, maybe then it's worth purchasing a lightning lane access for later in your day. But honestly, I would try to make it your first attraction of the day as a standby, if possible. However, if that lightning lane is backing up, please know that Rise Lightning Lane access does sell out. Being first in the morning will let you know if waiting or paying is the best option for you. So let's review. Do not buy Disney Genie Plus in advance. See if you really need it on each morning of your park visit. Genie works best if you actually let it do its job, suggestion by suggestion throughout your day. Disney Genie Plus allows you to choose one lightning lane selection after another, but if you choose a selection that is later in your day, you may not choose another selection until 120 minutes have passed, but you can choose again. And you can choose for an earlier lightning lane access. Not all premium rides are worth paying the premium ride price. Check on park crowds during the morning of your visit to meter whether or not you need to spend extra money or not. If you cannot immediately get into the standby queues upon park opening at Hollywood Studios, this is the only scenario where you should consider paying for the extra Rise of the Resistance access. Until the Tron coaster, the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind coaster opens, we see Rise as the only attraction currently worth paying for that special access. And of course that means if you're a big Star Wars fan and you can't live without experiencing that amazing attraction. In all the parks, prioritize the premium free standby lines first thing upon opening. This will allow you free access to rides most others will end up paying for later in the day. The goal of all this, don't pay for something you do not have to pay for and you do not want to pay for unless it's absolutely necessary on your next Walt Disney World vacation. I'm Joseph Pillsbury. I wrote Actual Factual Magic, the simplified guide to Walt Disney World, along with my food editor, Kat. Yep, there she is. And make sure, if you get the book, that you buy the one that has the blue banner celebrating Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary. Make sure you get the latest and greatest. Thanks again. I hope this was helpful. And if you have any questions, stop back at actualfactualmagic.com and let us know. I'd love to help you make your next vacation a special one. Thanks.